Are U.S. Treasury bonds still safe to invest in?
Very much so. I think this is not an issue of credit rating. The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. So there is zero probability of default.
This is a gentleman that was the head of the Federal Reserve System that controls our dollar in the United States of America for over 18 years. Now, lastly, I want you to hear what he has to say about gold, something that has been money for over 5,000 years, that has outperformed paper money, stocks, bonds, and anything else you can think about. In fact, our money in this country prior to 1913 only existed because of physical gold, yet that history has been lost inside of our school systems. Let's take a look.
I'm going to turn to the audience for questions in 1 minute, but before I do though, I just want to ask though, one of the really interesting chapters in your book is about gold. And there's been a lot of media debate in the past about your views on gold. You yourself have posed the question as to why would anyone want to buy this barbarous relic? I don't know whether John Paulson is in the audience, but it's an interesting question. But do you think that gold is currently a good investment given what you're saying about the potential for turmoil?
Yes.
Do you put...
Economists are usually perfect in equivocating. In this case, I didn't equivocate. Look, remember what we're looking at. Gold is a currency. It is still, by all evidences, the premier currency where no fiat currency, including the dollar, can match it.
Okay, I want to pause this video and I want to really break this down. And so, again, Alan Greenspan is the former chairman of the Federal Reserve System, which is not a part of the federal government. Do you believe that gold is still a good investment? And he said, remember, this is a person that for 18 years represented the United States Federal Reserve note, not backed by anything but the labor of the American people that are being penalized through taxation with no representation. Alan Greenspan said, and I quote, "Yes." And everybody in the room chuckled. And he says, listen to me. Let me tell you something. When a person with the power of an Alan Greenspan says to listen, everybody should shut up. He said, listen to me. Economists are typically good at equivocating. But notice that I did not equivocate. Okay? I want to break down the definition of equivocating for those of you that don't know the meaning, because it's very powerful. It's very important that you understand every word and the definition of those words that come out of a person's mouth that controls the value of the thing that you trade your time for, and your livelihood is dependent on it. We're talking about the Federal Reserve note. He said, listen to me. Economists are typically good at equivocating. Notice, take note, that I did not equivocate. Definition of equivocating is using large, ambiguous language to hide the truth. Let me say that again. The definition of equivocating is using large, ambiguous language to hide the truth. So Alan Greenspan basically said, listen to me. Economists, politicians are typically good at equivocating, using large, ambiguous language to hide the truth. Notice I didn't do that. I gave you a simple answer, yes. And he went on to explain his answer. He said gold is a currency. He could have stopped right there, but he didn't. He said, and with all evidence of what the Federal Reserve Note has done, all evidence what GDP has done, all evidence what Congress has done, all evidence what the Senate has done, all evidence what the President has done, with all evidence, gold is a currency, whereas no other fiat currency can match it. He could have stopped right there, but he went on to say, not even the dollar, something that he represented for over 18 years. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to take from this presentation is not we're going to beat up our government. We're not beating up the United States of America. It is my hope that you will wake up and understand, as the OJ said in their song, for the love of money, you got to understand that unfortunately we expect people to do the right thing. But when it comes to money, that's not always going to be the case. In most cases, most people are driven by greed. And so for you, you're responsible to protect you and your family legacy. You're responsible to make sure that you keep as much of your hard-earned income in your pocket from taxation. I've been teaching this for over 30 years. See, most people are in fear of the IRS, but the IRS is not the problem. It is the lack of financial education about taxation that is keeping the masses in bondage financially. I always say the IRS is not your foe, they are your friend, and I can prove that. So in this particular video, which is not of great quality, but I want you to pay very, 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 did I say very, very close attention to the words that are coming out of Mr. Alan Greenspan, former chairman of the Federal Reserve System. I've never seen this interview before, and it sent chills up my spine, along with anger, as we deal with inflation here in 2022. And we've dealt with inflation since 1913 in this country. Many of the millennials have no idea what I'm speaking about. I want you to listen to what Alan Greenspan is going to say over the next 1 minute and 46 seconds about the gold standard that this country was on prior to the Federal Reserve taking control of our money system and getting off of the gold standard, which was our money being backed by gold. And per the Constitution of the United States of America, the government can only print the amount of money that was a representation of the physical gold held in the vault. Therefore, we had money, paper money, that was called a gold certificate, a certification that there was something backing up that paper money in which you and I traded our labor for. I want you to listen to this. And if this does not anger you, you need to watch it until you get it, because your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren are going to suffer if they don't get this message, so they can now start to prepare for what they know is already among us and that is here to stay.
So then why do we need a central bank?
Well, the question is a very interesting one. We have at this particular stage a fiat money, which is essentially money printed by a government, and it's usually the central bank which is authorized to do so. Some mechanism has got to be in place that restricts the amount of money which is produced, either a gold standard or currency board or something of that nature, because unless you do that, all of history suggests that inflation will take hold with very deleterious effects on economic activity.
Now,
Wow, guys. Hey, it's Mark Pyers, home-based business tax coach and wealth coach. If you made it this far through this video or live presentation, guys, I want to first of all say you are in the right place at the right time with the right information, but only if you apply it. Are you guys getting value from this? You know, I often say, why doesn't the school system teach this information about money? They teach us that we should go get a good paying job, but they don't teach us how to protect the money that we work for. Many of the millennials today, they know absolutely no history about the United States of America, US dollar being backed by gold. In fact, it wasn't backed by gold. It was silver and gold. Prior to 1913, we had what was called gold certificates. Look it up online. Go to Google, right? What it said on that bill was, let's say that it was a $20 gold certificate. Here's what it said across the top. This certifies that there has been deposited $20 in gold coin payable to the bearer of that gold certificate on demand. Pull out a $20 bill out of your pocket right now, and I want you to look what it says on it. What you will not find is that there has been anything deposited to back up the paper dollar. And as Alan Greenspan said, our currency is nothing more than a fiat currency. You know, it is shocking to hear this gentleman, again, that ran the Federal Reserve System, which controls our money in the United States for over 18 years, in fact, 19 years, okay, to say when he's asked, so why do we need a central bank? And he goes on to really say, you know what? I don't know. What I do know is this: we can't keep printing money. Even though he said in a prior video, the United States of America can always pay their bills. Why? Because they can always print money. Are you guys getting this? Our children's financial future is at stake. It's been at stake for a long time. You and I, okay? If you're 30, 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, you and I have been bamboozled, okay? If you have saved in paper dollars, even if you saved in paper dollars in an investment account, as you saw your money increasing over time, what they didn't teach you is that inflation was decreasing the purchasing power. Let me ask you a question. What happens if you got something that's going up over here and then something over here that's going down over here? That's called stagnation. That's called you're still in the same place. That's called no growth. That's called being bamboozled. That's called the US dollar. Now, I'm not, look, guys, there's no boats leaving the US, right? But how about if you just simply learn how to protect the buying power of your money? Have you guys been to the grocery store lately, right? We all know what the gas prices are, right? They're $1,000 a gallon, right? Have you seen a devaluing of the purchasing power of your money? You know, I've been teaching this information now since about 2006, 2007. And I'm going to tell you, never have there been a time when it is more evident what inflation means to the devaluation of your purchasing power of your money. However, okay, if you had simply learned to just put away, save some of your money in physical silver and gold, you would not be feeling the inflation of 2022. But you guys don't believe it? I am going to be teaching this information on a private Zoom because it is my goal. It is my passion. It is my mission, and it has always been to educate the masses off the plantation of taxation. I'm going to show you how I've been able over the last 10 to 15 years, legally, ethically, and morally, okay, earn up to $10,000 in tax savings on silver and gold. Let me say that again for the person in the back of the room. I'm hosting a private Zoom where I'm going to not tell you, I'm going to show you directly from the IRS how I've been able over the last 15 years to get a minimum of $10,000 in tax savings by simply collecting silver and gold. And with that being said, guys, look, I'm going to put a link down below here how you can get access to that free Zoom, okay? How you can get access to that free presentation. Now, if any of you are wondering, well, is he going to try to sell me something? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you an opportunity to position yourself to be able to get silver and gold and save thousands of dollars in income taxes legally, ethically, and morally. And if you're open to it, how to be able to earn additional income at the same time. And if that's not something you want to do, I'm going to show you the best places to be able to acquire silver and gold without any risk whatsoever. Okay, so I'm excited. I'm going to put the link down below here. Again, if you've made it this far, you're in the right place at the right time with the right information, with the right person to deliver the information that is about to change your life financially, because the school system somehow has been forbidden to do it. And with that being said, again, thank you for your time and attention, guys. Share this video, like this video, comment below. Let me know what value you got from it. And let's get ready to change our lives. You ready? We'll see you on a private Zoom.